Hello and welcome to the latest Craft Mania Sunday Showcase. It's lovely to be back. I've missed you all immensely over the last couple of weeks while I've been on holiday. But I'm glad to report I'm home now, so your videos are back to normal. But sadly today I have got a bit of a cold, so hopefully you can hear me okay. But we'll try and get through it the best we can. So today, as always, I bring you a new product. We're going to be looking at these. They are a new version of alcohol markers. Now the best bit about them is the price. They're a complete bargain price tag when you compare them to such pens as like the Spectrum Noirs or possibly like the Pro markers or Copics, things like that. They are the same alcohol inside them, same ink. One of our reps once told us that there is only one factory in the world that makes the alcohol ink to go in these pens, so you're always going to get the same ink no matter what pen you buy, is the idea. Never backed up if that's the truth or not, but we'll go with it for the sake of today. So, like most of these pens normally, if I get all these out, we can have a little look at them. On the end of them, they have a number and the name of the colour. I quite like that because unlike some of the other styles of these where they just give you initials for the colours, with these you know exactly what you're getting. You want navy, you've got navy. The numbers again, same as most of the pens, back up the idea of how you're going to blend them. So you use them in number order. So for instance today we're going to use number 19 and 20. Now if you've been watching my videos before, you will have seen we did a video very similar to this with the Spectrum Noir pens only a few weeks ago. But I want to show you that you can do everything with these that you can do with them and hopefully cover a couple of the basics along the way. One of the good bits is if you have gone and already splurged and you've got all of the Copics or the Pro markers or even the Spectrum Noirs, with these you've got 48 colours. Quite a few of them, depending on what brand pens you've got, you'll find they're not actually already in the collections you've got. So even if you have got them, you might like these too, especially at the price they are and especially on your Sunday Showcase offer. So the pens themselves, let's have a little look at these. At one end, marked by the cream circle, we have a bullet tip. At the other end, we have a chisel tip. Now the nice bit about this is the bullet tip is actually finer and a little bit harder than most of the pens I've tried of similar quality. So you get a little bit more precision and they're easier to write with as well and to get into the little tiny nicks and corners of your designs. The chisel tip isn't too bulky either, so they're quite delicate in comparison to some of the chunkier ones. And once again, the nibs are quite hard. These are Japanese made tips, so they're good quality and again at the price just ridiculous. So let's actually colour with them, shall we? Let's get rid of that bit. Now we're going to start off using baby blue, and that is number 19. And I've just stamped my image already. Because we're using alcohol markers, I've used a Memento ink pad available in store, and this gorgeous little bunny on a bike stamp that's available once again in store. It's only $2.99. Now exactly the same as when we did our colouring a few weeks ago. We were doing Christmas ones then, but we're already moving on. So a little bit more of a summery design this one. We can colour in the whole thing and get as much ink onto the cardstock as you can. Once again, I'm using our stamping cardstock. This is the slightly rough one, in which you get 50 A4 sheets for $4.99, or you can have 2 packs for £9. We also do a smooth one as well, which is quite nice, especially with these pens, works quite well. So once you've flooded the ink onto your image, you then take the darker shade. So in this instance, we're going to use the 20, and that is the sky blue. And we're just going to bring in a little bit of shading just around that side of the blue, nothing too heavy. And then we go back to the light colour and we take the thin tip and we just do a tiny circular motion across the line, so we're blending them two colours together. And this sort of works a bit like a bleach, so it will take one colour from one side and the other from the other and sort of blend them in together quite effortlessly. So, and if you want to, you can colour over the whole bit. Tone it out, it's up to you. I always say I'm not the best colourer in the world, and I'm really not, but with these pens it is quite simple. And I don't know how well you're going to pick that up. Cameras are never that easy to get that, but you've got a nice subtle shading between the dark and the light. And if we go back in again with the dark, just to show you, that's how dark the dark is. So it shows you where we started and where we ended up with our blending. Now, they always say until the alcohol has actually evaporated, you don't get to see the true colour, and that does take a good couple of minutes. So I have already done a couple of these to give you an idea of what they look like. So these are just the balloons I've worried about here. And we've got the yellows using number 38 and 40, the lilacs with 31 and 33, the greens are the 25 and 26, and the nice pinky red with a 43 and 44. Just to show you a few of the different colours and how they'll actually match up. Now, of course, as I said, if you have got pens from other brands already, there's no reason why you can't use these together. This is another one of our little stamped images. This another one, just a $2.99 little stamp, cute little girl watering a flower. And for this, I actually used the skin tones from the Spectrum Noir Pale Hues set, just because I didn't feel we'd got anything in this set of pens that quite made her skin correct. So I thought we'd try something a little different and mix and match the two. So that's for her skin, and then I've just used the colours from this collection of pens that we're showing you today. I then have a nice little bunny one done here with his little toy boat. Again, that's one of our $2.99 ones. And I've also got another one here, that's the one with the balloon all coloured in. And these last two I've shown you, they are just from colours from this collection. Of course, because they're an alcohol pen, you can also use them on acetate as well. This is actually the piece of acetate that my stamp come attached to, because I had to keep all of my stamps in CD cases for ease of use, which once again are available in store if you'd like that idea. All of these acetate bits, the stamps come on, usually I sort of throw them in the bin. But I thought, well, why not colour on it and actually use it for something? So that is these pens directly onto the acetate, and they dry perfectly well for that. One of the other things that comes with your pens is a blender pen. Now, we tend to get a lot of questions about what a blender pen is for and why you would need one, so I thought I'd show you that. Although they call them a blender pen, they're sort of a little bit mix-matched in their name. That isn't really what they should be called. They're more like a razor, really. If you happen to be colouring and you pick up the wrong pen, or even just the wrong pen at the wrong time, so to speak, and you do a dot with that, and you think, oh my god, that isn't meant to be blue, it's meant to be orange. If you take your blender pen and sort of dot over the top of the colour, you'll have to do this a few times, don't get me wrong, but it will actually bleach out your mistake, and you sort of push it through the paper. And usually after you've done this a few times, that blue dot will actually transfer off of the piece of paper you're on and onto the one beneath it. And that is literally that colour coming out of there, because you're pushing it through the fibres of the card, and it will bleed into whatever is underneath you. And if you let that dry and you come back in a couple of minutes and you do the same again, after 2 or 3 turns, that will go light enough that you can colour over it and you hopefully won't see your mistake. It's also good if you do accidentally slip and go outside the lines on one of your images. You know, we've all done it, you've spent 15 minutes colouring it in, one sneeze and that's it, you've got a line going out the edge of it. It's a good way to try and control that. Doesn't always delete it all, but hopefully it'll patch up what you've gone wrong on. So again, well worth having. Now the pens themselves come in all of these different colours. Now you may notice I've got a nice nifty little holder for mine. I've actually made this myself out of the packets, and I thought I'd show you how to do that as well. When you get these, they will all come in this lovely hang sell packet, which is just an acetate box. But I really struggle with pens because you can end up spending a fortune on different systems to hold them. Well, with this, you don't have to. You just take a pair of scissors and cut off the edge of the packaging and take off the top flap. Just remove that one as well. And this side bit. And of course we don't want this hanging bit out the side because you're no longer going to hang them up. So we'll cut that off as well. And I've already cheated here so I don't have to bore you to death. On the back of my packaging I've just stuck on with a glue gun just a little loop of ribbon, just so that you can pull them up out of there whenever you want to get to your pens. And on the back I've just put 3 lines of double-sided tape. This is just ordinary double-sided tape, but if you're feeling you want it to last a long time, then you could of course use like the ultra sticky tape as well. Now, one thing I didn't mention with these pens, which is quite nifty, is it's coming up to Christmas obviously, and if you would like to be colouring in your baubles for the festive season to hang on your tree, or if you want to personalise them and put names on them maybe, these are the perfect pens for that as well. Now, I'm really struggling here because I cut my nails earlier and I totally forgot about this video, and now I can't get my tape off, but you get the idea. So once you've removed all of your tape from the back of it, you can then just stick it onto the one before it, and you have a perfect holder for all your pens, whether you wish to lay them down or stand them up. And then when you want a pen, instead of trying to fiddle to get them out of the top, if you just pull the tab up and then you can pull it back and remove the pen you want. And it's just a free way to keep your pens in check. I've also even done the same with my blender pen, so that sits on the side there as well. And you could nest them side by side or back to front, whatever you wish. But I just felt that was a nice way to display them. One of the other things I haven't told you about these as well, and we have covered this before, is different things you can colour on. So these are just ordinary sticky back pearls that we sell in store. And one of the things I always struggle with is if you've coloured in a lovely design and you want a pearl to match that balloon, for instance, you might not have the colour pearl you want. So if you use these pens over the top of it, let's go for a different shade. Let's go for one you're going to see. So this time we're going to use Pine, which is number 30. We're going to use the chunky end again, and we're literally just going to colour straight over the top of that pearl. Now hopefully you can see this okay. If you do the chunky bit around the top of it, and then you can just do the delicate bit with the fine tip around the base of it, you then have a perfectly coloured gem which you can adhere onto your card, and it will match the colour that you've used on your project, which is quite nifty too. So don't forget, we can colour on plastic, we can colour on acetate, we can colour on gems, we can colour on cardstock. These really are a great all-round pen. But one thing I love doing is colouring on ribbon. Now again, we've done a video on this before, so I'll make this bit quick, so you're not too bored with seeing the same thing twice. But again, I like to show you that these pens can do this too. So all I'm going to use for this is just a Stays On ink pad. If you haven't got one of these already, they're great. Again, it means you can stamp on acetate, metal, glossy card, ribbon, anything that isn't normally porous. And I'll just stamp this on here. And it stamps perfectly on there. You don't have to wait for it to dry or anything. Would recommend that you put a piece of card underneath what you're doing, because it will bleed through your ribbon, and I don't want you to ruin your table or decorate it with colours you don't want to. And we'll go for this time Amethyst, which is number 34, and we're going to use the fin tip for doing this. The reason we do that is these do bleed quite a lot because it's on ribbon and it's a more porous surface. So instead of sort of actually colouring like you normally would, if you just sort of dot and remove, you can actually watch where the ink's going and let it bleed within the right areas, if that makes any sense. If you hold it too long and you colour it, you can see here, it will just keep on bleeding out and out and out and go completely over your edges. So again, just a little brush or even possibly a dot if you find that easier, and just dot the colour into the areas you want it, and then it will stay there. When we did this on our video, we actually used a script stamp after we coloured the image and went over the top, and it sort of helped hide a little bit of the bleeding, made it look a little bit more shabby chic. But I will show you a couple of the ones I've done already. Now this was the first 4 shades of the lilacs. So this is 31, 32, 33 and 34. But I'd already stamped them and cut my ribbon before I thought I'd do the whole lot. So you only got 4 of that one. But because I then thought it would be nice to show you a whole set, I did the pinks as well. So this is all 6 of the pinks, all done on one sheet, just to show you. But of course it's down to whatever stamp you're using, to whatever colour you might want to use. So that's it really. One of my top tips would be, if you're using these, is to keep a scrap of paper to one side just so you can have a little doodle and see what the colour is before you attack your image, just as a little top tip. Even though they're numbered and named with colours, sometimes they're not going to be exactly what you expect, so do always do a little sample one before you go on to something you've spent hours colouring. I'm sure you know that already. So let's talk about the prices. Let's get to the fun bit. So as I said earlier, Spectrum Noir pens are 6 for $7.99. Now with these are a new product that we're going to be keeping in stock. They're not just here for the Sunday showcase, and they will be retailing at $3.99 a packet of 6. So in here we've got a collection of 6 for you, and a blender pen. The blender pens will be selling for $1.99 normally, so you've got a grand total of £25.93. Because this is a Sunday showcase and we love to spoil you, and especially as we haven't had you around for the last couple of weeks, we thought we'd do the great deal of you can buy the whole set for only £20. We do of course only have a limited number of these, so please don't hesitate if you do want them. Get right in them comments the store you want to collect from, or if you'd like to have them posted to you, we can of course do that. And we do also accept PayPal payments now too. The P&P for this offer will be $3.99, so that means you'll get the whole lot for $23.99. Of course, if you're collecting in store, it's still only £20. Now this offer is only valid until 5 PM on Saturday the 22nd of October. Once again, please don't miss out. We do only have a limited number. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments. And I'll see you next Sunday when we have another new product to share with you. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.